you doing? My name is Henry Gajone, and I'm known as Henry Live, a conservative reporter, but I'm also a congressional candidate. I have another congressional candidate here. And just wanted to let you know, thank you so much. The last time I met with you and I was able to do my function as a reporter, you're here the second. The congressional candidates that are here, we support the cabbies. We totally understand.
Is running concentration camps on our southern border. Never again means something.
If this organization is as fascist as you have called it,
I've said it's fascist.
and you have said it's fascist, then why don't you adopt the stance to eliminate it?
Your colleague who was at the border with you compared the facilities to a concentration camp. Do you agree with that comparison? Absolutely.
You will see the light, and if you don't, we will bring the fire.
A car in the parking lot was torched, and investigators say the suspect threw flares at a propane tank trying to make it explode.
They took down an American flag and a Colorado state flag, and instead, as you see in some of this video, they raised a Mexican flag.
We are learning new details about the man who threw explosive devices at an immigration detention center in Tacoma, Washington.
Will you condemn Antifa for attacking an ICE facility? Will you condemn the Antifa attack in Washington over the weekend? Will you condemn Antifa for the attack in Washington?
After 9/11, because they recognized that some people did something and that all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties.
Now, growing backlash.
Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What we're going to hear from Democrats this morning is astonishing. Will be truly astonishing. For months, they declared there wasn't even a crisis on the border. Senator Warner said a fake crisis at the border is fear-mongering of the worst kind, and we're not falling for it. But weeks later, Democrats sure have changed their tune. Chairman just recently said Congress cannot ignore the humanitarian crisis at the border. For years now, Republicans have been warning about the crisis and working hard to find solutions, and all the while Democrats have denied there was even a problem. This is not about politics. It's always been about preserving the integrity of our border and preventing the humanitarian crisis that we are all now witnessing. Democrats are in charge here. They set the agenda. The chairman could have had this hearing on a border crisis in January. He could have had one in February or March or April. Instead, prioritize political hearings like the hearing, like the hearing we first had, Michael Cohen, months and months ago. Think about this. Like 2 days after that hearing, we knew even then that it was urgent. Instead of giving a platform to a convicted felon, we could have come here to address the border crisis. Only now the situation has reached the point that Democrats cannot ignore it. They finally decided to acknowledge that there is, in fact, a real crisis on the border. After months of the problem being pointed out and urgent calls for more funding, it wasn't until just before the July 4th recess that the House Democrats finally agreed, after waiting 8 weeks, finally agreed for pass the $4.6 billion supplemental emergency funding bill to provide some of the resources needed at the border. And despite the size and scope of the crisis, even this funding bill was not supported by many of the Democrats, including some testifying today. Once again, they would rather play politics with the border than work on solutions. They've now gone from denying that there is a crisis to accusing those working to stop it, our border agents, of actually creating a culture of cruelty, as some have said. Just yesterday, the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee gratuitously and erroneously accused our Border Patrol agents of committing negligent homicide. I was in the hearing when he said it. The reality is that our border agents are working tirelessly on the crisis, which they did not create, and are lacking funding and resources from the very Democrats who are attacking them. Can't vote against funding for a crisis, and then, fiscal year 2019, more than 688,000 illegal aliens, including nearly 133,000 in May of 2019 alone, were apprehended between ports of entry along the southwest border, an increase of 80,000 since October of 2018. And while historically most immigrants were single adult males, 72% of all border enforcement actions in the last month were directed to unaccompanied alien children and family units. Fabricating stories of cruelty and besmirching the hardworking civil servants who are protecting the border and providing humanitarian assistance does nothing to help solve the problem. Putting a Band-Aid over the border crisis like we did 2 weeks ago does not fix the root causes. Democrats are serious about solving the border crisis, and let's address the Flores settlement agreement. Let's address asylum loopholes and the other statutory and judicial constraints that incentivize aliens to make a dangerous journey to the United States. Most of all, they must stop obstructing the border security wall. This is one of the greatest challenges of our time, and as we all know, it's getting worse by the day. Hope the Democrats will stop their obsession with attacking the president and actually work collaboratively to fix this crisis. Mr. Chairman, I look forward to hearing from our witnesses. I appreciate the fact that even though initially we were going to have just the Democrats, you allowed Republican witnesses from border states.